We all know breathing is kind of important, right? It's literally the first thing we do when we pop into this world and the last thing we do before we check out. But how many of us really think about the power of a good, deep breath? Turns out it's a bigger deal than you might think. Lung capacity, my friends, is the total amount of air your lungs can hold. Think of it like the gas tank for your body. The bigger the tank, the more fuel you have to burn. And in this case, the fuel is oxygen, the magic ingredient that keeps our cells humming and our bodies performing at their best. Now imagine trying to run a marathon with a thimble-sized gas tank. Not gonna happen, right? You'd be sputtering out before you even hit mile 1. That's what it's like trying to live your life with limited lung capacity. You might feel winded just walking up a flight of stairs, or find yourself gasping for air after a short jog. But here's the good news, just like you can train your muscles to be stronger, you can train your lungs to be more efficient. And that, my friends, is where the power of exercise comes in. Alright, let's get a little sciencey here for a minute. Don't worry, I'll keep it simple. Your lungs are these two spongy, balloon-like organs that sit in your chest. When you inhale, those balloons inflate, sucking in air like a vacuum cleaner. But here's the cool part. The air doesn't just hang out in your lungs, it gets filtered down into these tiny little air sacs called alveoli. Think of them like millions of tiny grapes clustered together. And get this, these little grapes are covered in a network of tiny blood vessels called capillaries. Now here's where the magic happens. Oxygen from the air you breathe passes through the thin walls of the alveoli and into those capillaries, hitching a ride on your red blood cells. At the same time, carbon dioxide, the waste product of all those cellular processes, moves from your blood into the alveoli to be exhaled out. It's like a perfectly choreographed gas exchange happening right there in your chest. Pretty wild, right? And the more efficient your lungs are at this whole inhale-exchange-exhale process, the more oxygen you can deliver to your muscles and organs, and the better your body performs overall. Now let's talk about how to give those lungs the workout they crave. And when it comes to building lung capacity, nothing beats a good old-fashioned cardio session. We're talking running, swimming, biking, dancing, jumping jacks in your living room, whatever gets your heart rate up and your breath pumping. The key here is to challenge your body to work harder, which in turn forces your lungs to step up their game. See, when you push yourself aerobically, your muscles need more oxygen to keep going, and your lungs, being the champs they are, respond to that demand by becoming more efficient at pulling in oxygen and expelling carbon dioxide. Think of it like this. Every time you push yourself during a workout, you're essentially giving your lungs a pep talk, saying, "Hey, we need more power down here. Time to step it up." And your lungs, being the overachievers they are, rise to the occasion. The result? Increased lung capacity, stronger respiratory muscles, and a body that's primed for peak performance. Section 4. Strength training. Building a foundation for powerful breathing. Now you might be thinking, Joe, what about lifting weights? Does that do anything for my lungs? And the answer is a resounding yes. While strength training might not seem like the most obvious choice for boosting lung capacity, it plays a crucial supporting role. See, when you lift weights, you're not just building muscle, you're also strengthening your diaphragm, the large dome-shaped muscle that sits at the base of your lungs. The diaphragm is like the MVP of the respiratory system, responsible for about 80% of the work involved in breathing, and just like any other muscle, it benefits from a good workout. So every time you squat, deadlift, or bench press, you're also giving your diaphragm a run for its money, making it stronger and more efficient at its job. And here's a bonus. Stronger respiratory muscles mean you're less likely to experience shortness of breath during strenuous activity. So, not only will you be able to lift heavier weights, but you'll also be able to breathe easier while doing it. It's a win-win. Section 5, Flexibility, Finding Your Flow for Optimal Lung Function. Alright, we've talked about cardio and strength training, but what about flexibility? Does stretching have a role to play in all of this? The answer, my friends, is a resounding yes. While stretching might not directly increase your lung capacity, it can improve your lung function by increasing your chest mobility and flexibility. Think about it. Tight chest muscles can restrict your rib cage, making it harder for your lungs to fully expand. That's where flexibility exercises like yoga, Pilates, and even simple stretches can make a world of difference. By gently stretching and lengthening the muscles in your chest, back, and shoulders, you're essentially creating more space for your lungs to do their thing. And when your lungs can fully expand, they can take in more oxygen with each breath, improving your overall respiratory efficiency. Plus, let's be real, who couldn't use a little more flexibility in their lives? It's good for your body and your mind. Section 6. Real-life transformations, breathing easier, and living better. Now, I know what you're thinking. Joe, this is all great in theory, but does this stuff actually work in the real world? And the answer, my friends, is a resounding hell yes. I've seen it firsthand with countless guests on my podcast. From elite athletes to everyday folks, people who prioritize exercise, especially cardio and strength training, consistently report improved lung capacity, increased energy levels, and an overall better quality of life. Take, for example, David Goggins, that ultra-endurance athlete and retired Navy SEAL. This guy is a machine, and a big part of his superhuman stamina comes down to his insane lung capacity. Goggins pushes his body to the absolute limit, running ultra-marathons and breaking world records, and his lungs are right there with him every step of the way. But you don't have to be an elite athlete to reap the benefits. I've also talked to countless everyday folks who have transformed their lives through exercise. People who used to get winded just walking to the mailbox are now running marathons and climbing mountains. They're living proof that with dedication and the right kind of training, you can achieve incredible things. Section 7. Beyond the breath, the ripple effects of improved lung capacity. So we've covered a lot of ground here, but the takeaway is simple. Exercise, particularly cardio and strength training, is like a superpower for your lungs. It helps them grow stronger, work more efficiently, and ultimately, it improves your overall health and well-being. But the benefits of good lung capacity go way beyond just breathing easier. We're talking increased energy levels, improved sleep, reduced risk of chronic diseases, and a stronger immune system. It's like the gift that keeps on giving. And here's the best part. It's never too late to start. Whether you're a seasoned athlete or just starting out, incorporating regular exercise into your routine can have a profound impact on your lung health and your overall quality of life. So, get out there, get moving, and breathe deep, my friends. Your body will thank you for it.